Last week on Royal Revelations.
They are all in a tizzy about something. June 21st is coming up.
Actually, it's a small bit of dirt. Unstable energy. The message is that person just sort of...
Somebody with blue eyes, somebody who has dark hair.
Sort of makes me feel hair triggered. Careful to watch your breathing. Really take a breath.
I thought this was a great example of an omen or a symbol of something that was ahead. Things around us can give us a clue. This event seems major in this month here because of Black Moon Lilith. Watch the Black Moon Lilith. Welcome back to Royal Revelations. It is June 28th, 2024. We've got some royal predictions for you. And did you see in our intro that Amber's tarot card to breathe was a woman with dark hair and could have been a big clue about Princess Anne. And that's something you have to do when you get a concussion. They put you on oxygen. I'll be breaking down the charts and the cards today with Amber from Taurus Moon Tarot, who can help us with mysteries and anomalies that we see in the astrological charts. You may have also noticed that Amber presented her Henry VIII figure, the man who said, "Off with her head." And the king was married to Anne Boleyn. So maybe giving us another clue about Anne. A special thanks to the valedictorians, the members who make this content possible. We are live every Friday at 4:30 Eastern, 9:30 p.m. And I think that is London time, 9:30. And this show is all about how to teach you how to make predictions in your own life using your solar return chart. It's definitely not to make derogatory remarks about members of the royal family or anyone else. So, and if you like ad-free content, click the join button and get our predictions with no interruptions. And you can also hit the bell for notifications on future shows. All right, so just to get started, go to AstroSeek if you want to look at your own chart and try to look at some predictions that are coming up. You're going to go down to once you pull your birth chart, go to the solar return area. And if you've already had your birthday in 2024, you're going to click on 2024. And then you're going to go to the solar only tab and click that. And also, I am changing my Sunday show around a little bit. We're going to do some relationship shows for a little while. And this Sunday is the signs of marriage and divorce. Should be pretty interesting. And definitely check out my book on Amazon, my latest one, The Secret Career Code. So also the Forensic Astrology 101 is also popular. We are talking about symbols, signs, and omens. In fact, I think we should maybe name this show, instead of astrology and tarot, it should be symbols, signs, and omens. Sometimes it's crazy, some of the signs that we get in the show. And well, they're not always so great. But this one we discussed last week, which was really interesting because this represents Uranus, to jump. But Uranus also represents other things like shocks and things that are basically unexpected. Thankfully, they all have a nice smile on their face, so it looks like a good surprise. So let's hope they get plenty of good surprises this year. Welcome, Amber.
Hi. Hi again. How are you?
Doing great. What did you think about those clues and the cards? It's amazing.
It was pretty wild. I'm always surprised every week, and it just sort of comes. I said it's like drinking from a fire hose sometimes with the information that's coming out, and then it just triggers. You're like, we just talked about this. This is so relevant. Yeah,
I know it's true. And not only that, you had said back, I believe it was on June 14th, that something about Prince William not having a great outcome for his game, and that he would be talking maybe instead to a head of state, which is exactly what happened.
Yeah.
He had to cancel his plans to go see the Eurogames
Yeah.
and greet the Japanese prime minister and his wife.
Mhm.
I was a little bit nervous seeing that picture that came out. It was on Prince William's birthday. It would start. It was literally the day that would start his solar
That's
return
right.
chart. And it was, messed around with the picture a little bit, but it's him with his kids on the beach, and it's such a
Yeah.
cute photo.
So cute.
But it does represent Uranus. So things that are going to happen in a split second, which would be the case for I guess it was within 48 hours. Princess Anne had her concussion, which she's now out of the hospital.
Yeah.
This is a big deal because she is one of the most, if not the most valuable, I guess you can't really say that, but a valuable person on the whole working royals list.
Yeah.
And you know what I've never done before, which I did today? I went to the website and it shows you can search,
Oh.
what the king will be doing and the
Mhm.
queen. It's their basically
Their schedule.
the schedule use.
The schedule.
And exactly. So and it's all like right now, it's all Duke of Gloucester and there is Princess Royal on there, which is Princess Anne. She's got
Yeah.
some stuff coming up. I don't know if she's going to be able to go out just
Yeah.
yet. First of all, anybody wants to find Amber on YouTube, it's Taurus Moon Tarot 761. Some of you may notice I put a tarot card on the thumbnail. And this is when I'm creating the thumbnail.
Because
And-
you drew for today the Lovers. Is that right?
Yes.
Yes, that did make me actually bring a different deck out, which is the Romance Oracle deck, which I'll save for later. But I did want to see sort of the question of who is this? Who are the Lovers? And I thought I would wait until we were together to do that. So let's see. Six of Pentacles. Wow. Well, the Empress. We have people already appearing. This
is somebody powerful.
Yes. Oh, and we have the Lovers card. I love the validation that we are talking about what we should be talking about. So, yeah, the Empress is Taurus, Venus energy, very motherly, often a mother, but generally not older, sort of there's heartbreak. So that's a Three of Swords in there too. And the Three of Cups, which in this context can always indicate a third party scenario or more than one person. And I've got 2 threes, which I think, the chat might understand that these threes are important in terms of a relationship or connection.
Oh, I hate, is it the Three of Swords that always shows another person? Always.
Yes. And the Three of Cups can do the same.
Really? Okay. I didn't know that. Ugh.
Yeah.
God, I don't have to worry about that. Ugh.
Yes.
Well, interesting. And I pulled a card for it too. I'm sorry, I didn't pull a card. I pulled the Lover's card, but then I pulled a chart. And the chart had all of these planets in the 9th house in Cancer. So it seemed like there were some women and they're in the 9th house. Now, this could be female journalists, but it seems like there's something that the whole world is going to be knowing about. And it could simply just be something from the past. It could be like secrets that we didn't know about. But it's so funny that because there was so much to talk about. I was like, well, what should I make this show about? And that the Lovers came out, and I was shocked. I was like, I didn't really think that was that much of a priority.
Yeah.
Apparently it is.
Yes.
So yeah, that's one of the things that I do when I pull or when I start creating these thumbnails. And when I was pulling the Prince William disappears, the Hierophant reverse came up. So this to me so far shows changes in, things that are routine maybe for him. And that's already happened. He's had to cover for members of the royal family, basically.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me get over to the next one here. And then we were talking about this. I had mentioned how I had pulled the Three of Cups for the last thumbnail. And you were like, I said, what do you think that means?
Yes.
I mean, it doesn't look bad to me. And you said a reunion of some sort.
Yeah.
And it was, I think, either that night or the next day, he went to the Taylor Swift concert. And so that was kind of a reunion. It was a party.
Yeah.
And so definitely showed that. So that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
And also, can I just say, I'll get to Taylor Swift in a second. And the other thing I wanted to be clear on from the last time I mentioned this up for about a second, but the twin strategy for the UK and EU relations if Labour wins power. So that might be a clue that Labour could win. And also that it seems as if the UK is going to become the EU's twin in a sense, which is just a polite way of saying we screwed up. We're just going to go back to what we did before and just do the exact same thing. I mean, that's what I'm getting, but you guys will have to school me. Okay, so Toy, you said, I just pulled my Astro cards out. First to drop is Leo. Leo, and we're talking about Taylor Swift too.
Yes.
And they had a great time, by the way. And I think there was just a lot of fun, which they needed. And interesting how one of the songs that Prince William was dancing to was Shake It Off. And we were talking about shakes, remember, with the King of Cups and Nigel holding the cups and the shakes and stuff. So it's weird. So shake is a Uranus word. And then we were talking, remember we were talking about the redhead and she was in blue? Well, there have been some really weird things in the sky showing crime, especially in the States. And this was a terrible attack and death of a young girl who snuck out. And then she was apparently, allegedly, attacked by these men, and they look like twins to me, And then there was also there was a suicide of a woman, and then something else about twin brothers. So abused by 3 cops, terrible headlines. So sorry to bring that up, but lots of twins. And I thought that was really weird.
Yeah.
About the redhead in blue. So I don't know, maybe we'll see more redheads in blue. Oh, yes, Eleanor, thank you. Just wanted to bring up the 2 Brits that went missing. You mentioned missing person in a previous episode. Oh, yes. Yeah, disappearances. That's definitely Neptune. So, and Rachel, Lover comes up for Taylor Swift. It's one of her songs.
Yeah.
So was definitely singing that. Now here is Princess Anne's solar return chart. And notice that as her house turned from the 10th to the 11th. And the way that we read our solar return charts is we start with the ascendant, that's your birthday, and then we go around and we count the months. And so go all the way around, and June 15th, that's when Uranus was there and would show an accident. And not all Uranus squares are accidents, but it does show something you weren't expecting. And so you could see that there with her solar return.
Yeah.
And it is squaring the area of Regulus. So not only is her accident, I mean, it could have hurt her back. I mean, mostly I think they said it was her head, but it's like, it gives you a heart attack in a sense because it's Leo heart back, but also that it's an interruption of the royals, and they don't know what to do now because she basically took up a lot of slack for King Charles. Okay, now this is also interesting too. You can see how Jupiter is up here and it's coming in. And so it rules the MC. So does Neptune. So that would be an upset of work, an interruption of her work house. I don't know why I pulled this. This was so random, but this is Black Moon Lilith down here. And it's a collection of planets around Algol, okay, which is in the late degrees of Venus. And it turned out to be a deadly event. It was an accident. And notice that Saturn retrograde rules the chart for the year. Well, this was right after Pearl Harbor. And what had happened was Clark Gable's wife was upset about it. She wanted to support the troops and all of that. So it was 6 weeks after Pearl Harbor. She goes, and Carol Lombard goes to, I can't remember where she was flying to, but she ended up having to fly. She wanted to get home to Clark faster. She was going to take the train, but she decided at the last 6 seconds she was going to fly. And there is beautiful Carol Lombard there. And so interesting, she's born on October 6th. So that's October, November, December, January 6th. And then that's when these planets activate in Algol, hurting your head. And so there it is. So she got in a plane crash and died. And so that was terrible because she was the love of his life. But I thought, I should just show that because there are accidents that happen, but interesting how Black Moon Lilith is in the middle of it. It's always kind of like an evil type of thing, an evil secret, something you couldn't really anticipate. And so here is Princess Anne's solar return chart. Notice how the 7th house is ruled by Saturn. And Saturn is retrograde. So it doesn't look like, I believe it's Sir Lawrence. He is Vice Admiral Lawrence. He doesn't seem like he's doing very well. And of course you wouldn't because your wife is in the hospital, but it seems as if emotionally or physically, he might actually be in pain there. So she's having to deal with not just her own health, but her husband as well. But take a look at the solar return chart for Princess Anne, and you tell me if it is similar to another Leo, which is J-Lo. And around the same time, look how this is the 11th house that's being activated. Both are probably about as shocked as anybody about things that are happening in their lives. Saturn retrograde, obviously for her too. So Ben's not doing so great. So for her, it would turn out as more of a relationship type of thing. And then and also she had some changes in her career too. She had to stop her tour. So there were some similarities, I think. Funny enough, two completely different people. Okay, now I'm going to get to the moon and the lunations for Princess Anne and the accident. I don't want to spend too much time, even though I am, but I just thought that was super interesting. And what I'm getting for Princess Anne, and then we're going to move on to Prince William. What are you getting with regard to Princess Anne getting back to normal? I am not getting that she's going to be making a full return.
Let's see. I do find it interesting. I didn't know that you had her solar return chart and that it was in Cancer, but I pulled a couple of cards, several decks as I was making decisions on what decks to use. And the Chariot card, which is a transportation, and it's ruled by Cancer. And I thought, what does that have to do with today? But then you showed the chart, which made it really stand out to me. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. And Cancer is seen as like, a mom, somebody who helps. The helper is not here right now. Other people are helping her. And also things that are very public too. The public knows what you're doing because they're getting reports.
Right.
Yeah. And Lisa has a good question. What would a positive interpretation be of Algol? This is somebody who, and I know many people who have, in fact, a family member of mine has Algol placements. And sometimes it can show that you are a fierce enemy. You're not to be messed with. You can turn anyone to stone if you want to. So don't turn me to stone. All right. So what do you got?
So the first card that asking about Anne and her return, I actually have the Death card. However, I always like to clarify, and the Sun. And my first thought when I pulled both of these was retirement. It's sort of, this is a big change for Happy. It's actually not necessarily a bad thing if she's less involved. And the Emperor in reverse says there's less power. There's just in a less powerful place. But with the Sun, that sort of elevates it a little bit and gives it a little bit of lightness, that it's actually not a bad thing, with an outcome of this Queen of Pentacles, very grounded, very, this is just peaceful in the garden, very relaxed, almost like a retirement type of vibe is what I get.
I get that too. I get that she's probably not going to be back. This is 2024 solar return. So she hasn't started it yet. This is going to start in August. And so look at what she has over here. It's Saturn in the 6th house. This is to stop working. So she may do something. Now, Saturn is sextiling part of fortune. There might be some kind of success where she can work from home. So 4th house. So maybe she'll be doing some Zooms, but it sure looks like, especially with the square to the MC, that she will be in recovery. And also, let's see. This is her 2024 chart, and interesting how right around now, or right at her accident, it was the moon was on Black Moon Lilith and in Algol. So yeah, BML is always popping up on us, sneaky sneaks. So now to the lovers in the kingdom, still shocked that I got this card, because I mean, why would I have to address this? Well, apparently something's coming up and we want to know what it is. So was this a symbol? And she's in purple too. Why do we love Scorpio? Because it's so easy to figure out, like, the color purple. Well, who starred in the color purple? Oprah did. And Oprah is a big Scorpio. She's basically, our era's psychologist. So there's so much about Scorpio that is easy to interpret. There's a little Leo and Scorpio when it comes to the kingdom. Leo, they are the big kings, but Scorpio is like the secrets, the inheritances, the betrayals. And I've been listening to the book on tape of The Two Princes that you recommended.
Oh, good.
If I could count every time they said the word betrayal on this, I was like, good Lord, that's Scorpio. So, so is Taylor a symbol? And looking at Prince William's solar return chart, I think we're about to move out of Pisces for him. Probably going to be another few days, and then we're really into Aries for him. So we're going to start seeing some Aries themes. Trying to think about we're assuming that it would be something that has to do with Prince William, but not necessarily. One reason I'm assuming it's him is that because July 15th to August 3rd, Uranus is partile or conjunct Prince William's Venus, and it is squaring Venus on Regulus. This is a queen. This is a princess. I don't know if this is Princess Catherine. Princess Catherine's over here. She's Mercury. And to me, she looks pretty good. With the fact, you have South Node, and when South Node is hitting the planet that represents you, it means to lose weight, which she has. Also to let go of things. And so it's kind of passing over her. She's doing okay. Mars is, she might be more motivated. Let's say that. We don't want to say that she's angry, so to speak. But what is this Uranus that is conjunct Venus and Chiron? This is a pain. This is something that is might have to do with something surprising that comes up, keeping in mind that it's not just a lover that Venus represents in Prince William's chart. It is also, it represents the family, and it represents the press as well.
Okay.
So 3 things. Can you give us any kind of clue as to what is happening between July 15th and August 3rd.
Let's see. Wow. Big cards. I want to clarify. Big cards, yes. Justice in reverse, the Emperor, the High Priestess, the Star. This is really interesting. This is unexpected power, unexpected leadership, or the Justice in reverse. I'm not reading that as a negative for him. I'm reading it as a change, but for his betterment in terms of his leadership or his job. There's just more. There's more responsibility. That's the right word. With the Nine of Cups and the Star, and then this High Priestess, it's something very North Node-y feeling, very predetermined in the stars, sort of destined. I'm seeing destiny with High Priestess and the Star. It's positive. I see it as something positive for him. I don't know what he's taking on, but it's good.
That could be. It looks like a breakup of some sort. It could be a breakup with a friend. What do you think?
Well, the Justice in reverse can actually be a divorce. Literally, it can be something losing in some kind of partnership that's like legally bound, like a breakup of a marriage or a divorce. But to me, I'm reading this as it's an empowering loss. I don't know why that comes to mind. Empowered loss of some kind.
Okay. There might be something that he's wanted to do for a while. Sometimes Uranus breaks can be good. It's like, oh, all right, fine. That was sudden, but it's over. And something that can benefit you. It seems as if this woman is blonde or reddish blonde, or the woman could have just a lot of hair. Maybe it's somebody on staff that they were they've had it, or they're quitting. Maybe they're spending time with family, but Uranus again, quits, divorces, breakups.
Yeah.
And to your point about what could be better for him, there's a possibility that he maybe was talking to someone and they were talking too much and they finally had to cut it off. It could simply be something where Taylor keeps texting him, and Taylor Swift, and he's like, you know what, why don't you go through my office? It seems a little bit bigger than that, though.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I wouldn't be surprised if there was an element of Diana's family.
Okay. Oh.
That side of his family. Uncle, aunt, that cousin's from Diana's family.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what this is, but I don't know what this is. I don't know if you can see that there, but.
Good morning, Angel D. And it's Australia. Yeah, maybe the brother. It's so funny because I was so focused on the third house thinking it was Harry. And here, what a shocker, that third house is also your aunt. So it ended up being Auntie Anne. So what a nice lady. And it breaks your heart that she would have to go through something like that.
Yeah.
Now, let me get back to the slide. And okay, wait. Here we go. Now, okay, don't laugh, but I'm looking at some stuff coming up here, and this looks serious. Now, I've talked about floods. I've talked about, sheet. Everything's coming in onto sheet, which means rain, flood. We talked about in the past. We talked about the Thames water. We talked about occult. Talked about the churches, all of that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But Neptune is a spy. And so check this out. This is the transit progressions for March 28th, 2025. And my God, look at all of those orange planets over the UK chart, all on sheet. Now, the moon moves pretty fast. So it's just there for, that day or so. March 28th, 2025. But if you take a snapshot of it, you can see that there is an opposition to Uranus and the moon. It is a famous surprise.
Mm.
Now, what could that be? Well, Neptune can be spies, but Neptune plus Mercury is information. So, spying on information, overhearing, listening, eavesdropping, cameras. And so that's there. Then we've got Saturn and Moon, which is the word black. So, what could it be? Black ops. This is could be a black ops operation. Now, notice that I'm using the January 1st, 1801 birth chart for UK. And we also, up at the top, we have Venus in Aries, retrograde, and conjunct North Node, which is a foreign woman. So foreign woman, she might be spy. So I'm wondering, are we talking about a spy operation? I mean, nobody watches us, right? We can talk freely about this. We're safe. And without giving a lot of information, of course.
Yeah.
I wonder what the cards would show.
It does trigger me to think about that recent unexpected visit that William made in that vein, that
Yes.
arena.
Good call.
Don't know. So let's see. Knight of Cups, King of Cups. Well, there's some people. What about? Ooh. Temperance. Oh, this is definitely giving from one place to another. And then this is the bottom of the deck with the devil in reverse.
Whoa. Oh my God.
This is actually in the reverse. It is, I would say it could be leaked information, intentionally leaked information that is maybe around another leader. The King of Wands in reverse, and I have the King of Cups. I see this as sort of the UK with the Knight of Cups, the King of Cups, the Temperance, and then the Six of Pentacles. The Temperance and the Six of Pentacles I'm reading as sort of an exchange of information. They're sort of, here, let me give this to you and give it to you. And Temperance is, sort of pouring from one cup into another. It's like this shared, information around, oh my gosh. And then the Page of Swords, which is the spy. This is a very curious, inquisitive, information seeking, sometimes can be,
Amazing.
someone who's hiding in the bushes.
Oh boy.
Looking around.
God. So this is, I don't expect that it all, comes together around that time. I mean, it is in motion right now. And I think that there is some intent there to harm, but there are indicators that that it's going to be okay, that we'll be able to recover. The UK can recover from this, but it is a total, oh my God, it's not like Pearl Harbor, I don't think, like an attack type of thing, but it's wow, we had no idea that this whole thing was going on. And, I'm sure the press will be happy about it because, I mean, who knows? It could have to do with the press.
Yeah.
But for one, if it is something that has to do with the government, they're going to be happy because they're always at fault for something. And they are. But, Daily Mail, everybody, they're really going to have something to chew on next spring.
I'm going to add this very delicately because this is the last bit of this spread, but I wonder if information surrounding the 1997 Paris accident is uncovered.
Well,
there's more on. I don't know.
That would be the icing on the cake for these royals right now. That's just the last thing they need is more information. Wow. Okay. Wow. So, so something is coming up that is going to be like, grab your popcorn. And so now I'm going to go back to Prince William's transit chart right now. It seems, let's talk a little bit about Princess Catherine. And I did make a comment here. She is Mercury. Interesting how she's Mercury at 8 degrees. So I'm not sure exactly what that means. It's something Scorpio. At the moment, she seems to be doing okay. Coming up July 15th, there's a trine. I think we might see her back in the news. And I was wondering if you might be able to pull some cards on, the next phase for her. What is she returning to? She seems to, Saturn means to return.
Yeah. Let's see what she's doing.
I wonder.
I also, the 8.
The 8. I wonder if there's a part of Prince William's life he's turning his back on, and maybe Princess Catherine is seeing that and in a positive way. They really had a nice photo on the balcony at the trooping of the color. I'm not sure it involves him so much though, because he's over here.
Yeah.
And Jupiter is, the problem with him in general is his ruling planet is squaring Pluto. And this is so difficult. It's having to change in slow motion in major, major ways. And it's just like every day often can feel painful. But with this, with Mercury, that almost seems as if it's something positive for him and for her. What can we expect with Princess Catherine for July and August?
Let's see. I did actually have the Scorpio card as my astrological card initially, and the word that stood out on that was regenerative. So it's sort of like that healing, but I know Scorpio can be lots of things, but the word that did stand out was regeneration. So let's see what she's doing. Okay. Oh my gosh, the Chariot card. Again, I can't tell you how many times the Chariot card has come out for me today.
Yes.
This is good. This is powerful forward movement. Actually, it indicates travel with the 2 of Wands. So, interesting. Could she be seen outside of the UK? Will she travel?
There you go. Yes.
I would say travel outside of the UK. Strength. I love these answers. The Strength card, which represents July and August, are represented in this poll. The Emperor, which is strength and power too. I see travel. That's what I would say. Where's she going?
9th house. Makes sense.
Oh, good. Yeah.
Yes. Returning to something, could just be long distance. Maybe she's driving 2 hours to see a relative or something. Doesn't necessarily have to be in a plane, but yeah. And it seems like she's excited about something.
She could even make travel for a doctor, or in search of a healing scenario. She might go somewhere to travel for that, with the Hermit and the Temperance card together. Very interesting.
Now, tell me more about the Temperance card.
Sorry, I dropped a card, so I'd like to see what that one is.
Yeah, what's that one?
The King of Cups.
That's Nigel. With his milkshakes.
And it's a Scorpio card. So
interesting.
A lot of people, a lot of powerful people. The Temperance card, depending on the context of the other cards that I'm pulling in the query we've made, is generally, this is a 9th house card, actually. It's Sagittarius. It's balance in sort of emotional and physical state, or spiritual and physical state. There's a balancing of that. It's being grounded and yet uplifted at the same time. It's having, belief systems that are not tangible, but also being very practical and realistic. It's sort of having all your chakras aligned, that kind of thing. But it's also about philosophy too, and long distance travel and all things 9th house. Yeah.
When something major happens like that in your life, you definitely change your philosophy.
Yeah.
Things don't seem as important anymore that were before. Hey, Valerie, nice to see you. I do. I've got my tea
Yes.
and Yorkshire Gold.
Yum. Love
And
Yorkshire.
crazy about your Henry VIII figurine. And I was like, he was married to Anne Boleyn, and you were showing that it was 2 days before
Yes.
headlines came in about Anne. And I was thinking about that too. I was, you know how I'm kind of obsessed with omens. So that night I
Yeah.
was thinking about, I wonder what Henry VIII means. Surely there
Yeah.
was something good about him. Was there
Mhm.
not?
Mm,
Not that we know of. He was a tyrant.
yeah, I think before he sort of took a left turn as he got a little bit older, he was, considered to be a nice person or fun person,
Okay.
charismatic. But then
Yes.
he sort of had a Nine of Cups moment of overindulgence in all things.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it does represent overindulgence. And I was listening to the Two Princes, and I thought, now, correct me if I'm wrong, the
Mhm.
Duke of York, which was Richard, right?
Yes.
He could have been or may have really been a big problem for the Two Princes. Was that right?
He was their uncle.
Yeah,
And
uncle.
yeah, so he said he would be their Lord Protector because, their father had passed, his brother, and he took them away to, wait for the crowning of the young boy, and they were never seen again.
Exactly. So isn't it interesting? A thorn in the side of the brothers, the Two Princes
Yeah.
today, is the
Yes.
Duke of York, isn't it?
Yes. Yes.
That's
So
nuts.
yeah, the Richard III, his death in Bosworth, your folks from the UK will know this. My dad his ashes are scattered at Battle of Bosworth Field. And in the place that they believed Richard III was actually fallen on the battlefield. But years later, I went back, they found his remains, and it was somewhere miles away that he was actually uncovered, which is crazy. So,
Wow.
yeah,
And Bosworth, that was the last big war for a while, I think, wasn't it?
it essentially started the reign of the Tudors. It became
Exactly.
the Tudor reign. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we've got the Yorks. I mean, there's lots of twinning, two princes, and we've been thinking about the twins lately.
Yeah.
And then uncles really have become an issue.
Yeah.
They come in like Charles's uncle and insisting or making strong suggestions that he should marry Diana. I mean, there's
Yeah.
always some kind of big plot involving an uncle. It's crazy.
Uncle.
But
Yeah.
it seems now that we don't hear anything from Andrew anymore. So, should we, since we're talking about the uncles, is there
Yeah.
something we need to know about an uncle?
Let's see what it might be. Ooh, Queen of Swords in reverse. I was getting Diana's brother in that. Oh, look, talking about uncles in the Nine of Cups. There that is, overindulgence. Let's see. It's almost like it's repeating what we just talked about. Whoa. Okay. Queen of Swords and King of Swords, both in the reverse. This is interesting. Could there be a divorce of aunts and uncles? I don't know. This is the divorced couple in the deck. And when they're together, there might be some storylines about a divorce of an aunt or an uncle.
Yes. Yeah.
I don't know who that could be.
And
But
when you said Diana's brother, Angel D had said it at the same time. It's so funny that
weird.
that was a jinx right there. So yeah, there has been stuff with Diana's brother. I wonder what's going to be happening. I mean, the fact that he's supportive of Harry in and of itself, I mean, the two redheads,
Mhm.
that could be some kind of issue because right now nobody wants Harry to have any support whatsoever.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know. At the same time, it was crazy. So Angel D saying, I wrote Diana's brother as Amber said it. Now, again. Well, stop it. All right, we get it. Now we've got to think more about Charles Spencer. So let's actually, let's look at the chart for that. Why not?
Mm.
Let me see what I have here. Gotta pull it up.
Mm.
I just lost it. Okay. So forget the date right now. And this is William. So the third house is in Aries. So that's very interesting because his brother, represented by the third house, is a redhead, and his uncle, represented by the third house, or one of his uncles, is a redhead. And so we would look over at Mars up here. And at the moment, it seems like it's in the ninth house. Interesting. The ninth house is the press.
Mm.
And there's a trine to Princess Catherine. So right now, it seems as if things are going okay, but super interesting how this the uncle would be in the headlines, which is the ninth house. Now, the other thing is that the south node is conjunct the planet that represents the uncle. The south node means to let go of. Or the uncle is letting go of something, and that is in Libra, which is a relationship. So you absolutely could be right that there is some kind of break there. Now, I mean, I don't know. Fergie is already divorced from him, from Prince of York, Andrew. So let's see. Does he have, what other uncles does he have? Edward and Sophie are fine.
They're fine.
Don't tell me they're not fine. They are the cutest.
They're fine. They are adorable.
Okay. But it is also Edward too that I think they're really putting out there. And I think that's a big shock for Edward. I mean, he was way in the back there for a while. So many people were coming in. Like, he kept getting pushed back further and further. Now they're all dropping like flies, and he is up at the center, and he's very busy. So it makes me wonder if they get paid more, if suddenly they've got to be asked to do more things. But definitely more of a change for him, more of an opportunity to be seen at that exposure there. So Uranus going through for Prince William, going through Algol there, squaring that Venus, and that, I want to know who this lady is. And I figure since this show is named The Lovers, I think that maybe we should ask one more time about it. And unless you have another suggestion, I would like to know more details about this woman.
Okay. This is, and it is, tell me what house?
Hang on. So it's the 8th house. Okay. It's Venus is in Leo, on Regulus in the 8th house. So this could, it might not mean a sexual thing. This could mean a death. Yeah.
Well, when we were talking a moment ago before that question was asked, I have the 2 of Cups and I did get the Death card. So I didn't restack the deck. I'm just sort of leaving this here to ask the direct question about it. Who is it?
The Lover.
Yes. And then I want to use the other Oracle deck. Ooh, well, that's very Scorpio, Ace of Wands. That's a lot of energy around passion, attraction, sort of very physical sort of card. You always get the World and the Wheel of Fortune together, and it's on both sides of it. The Emperor. Someone with lots of power. Who is it? Honestly, I'm getting a lot of cards where it's very youthful. There's a lot of youth. I don't know if we're talking age, but it feels like young, like under 30.
Ooh, I don't know if that's so good.
Yeah, under 30.
Wow.
But I would say if they they're, whatever their environment is, this person, if it's a person, it's chaotic. It's not without its own separate drama. They would be known to have chaos sort of around them. Structured chaos is what I come up with. It's someone you might see as like windfall, rags, riches, like they have sort of a history of up and down with power or with money or with relationships.
It's funny, when I was designing the thumbnail for the show, I thought I'm going to be ironic and I'm just going to put the crown on the woman. And I didn't really look at the chart. And then once I did, I was like, oh my God, that really is a female who could be a princess or is somebody who has royal ties. And it kind of makes me a little nervous because this could be a big shock for the royal family, yet another one. And that's the theme for the next year, are those shocks there. Wow. So, all right, one more question. Can we get any good news coming up? I mean, I don't know. It's such a volatile month, but is there any good news in this volatile next month?
Well, I certainly saw good things when we were talking about Princess Catherine. She had some really good energy around that. That was good. Let's see just in general what we have. Let's get a 2 or 3. 2 or 3. Okay. Yes. The Fool. That's really good. I like that that's the first card to that question. This is about obviously new things.
I love it.
Adventure, things that are, interesting with the Hermit. I always see that as, and the Knight of Pentacles. This is like slow, happy progress. Slow, happy progress is sort of the message, I would say.
Okay. Okay, great. Yeah, we like a good health diagnosis. And all right, and I'm going to do one last look at, if you're finished, Princess Anne, and how do I get over there? Okay. Yeah, this is Princess Anne's solar return chart starting on August 15th. She's about to end her solar return chart for this year. So I would say this is July 15th. I really didn't read her chart for July. I was so focused on everybody else's. And interesting how what is ruling her house for July 15th to August 15th is Mercury. And you have gotten the Chariot so much.
Yes.
So the Chariot here is there with Mars. And there is a trine to Uranus again. And so this could mean that we're seeing her out and about. She still has some recovery to do, though. You can see a quincux to Chiron. So this is somebody who's still nursing their wounds. But yeah, this is almost like a speed. This is like a race car or something. What is she doing? She's so crazy. She's just like, she always said that she kind of wore the pants, she was like a tomboy. But it certainly looks like this is also a worker too. Virgo is a worker. So there are 2 men who seem to be in the mix here. 2 Mercury would be 2, Mars would be men. And that would be a trine to Uranus. This could be foreign men. This could be friendships. People are coming to see her, or she's talking to them online, maybe. So maybe something like that. So, it's going to be a different world for Princess Anne, but we're glad she's okay. And she went home from the hospital today. So
that's good.
That's a good thing. So, all right. Well, thank you so much for your time today. And is there anything else you wanted to add? Or, I think we did a good job today. We got some answers.
I hope everybody noticed in your intro, the thing that just blew my mind was you caught on to the trooping of the color where her horse was giving her that sort of sign in advance of her horse giving her trouble. And then it's
Oh,
a week later, a week and a half later, that she has this incident with her horse. I
it's
just thought,
amazing.
what?
Thank you. Yeah, for noticing that. I remember when it actually happened, and I was thinking, well, you know how I am. I'm like,
Yes.
whoa, boy. Oh, God. And we're still talking about the Spencers here. Spencer just got married, now divorcing. So I've heard, and there's been flooding. So, but it's going to get better. It's going to
Yes.
get better. And Michelle's asking, who are the lovers? Well, we're going to continue to cover that. It looks like there's going to be somebody kind of young in the mix.
Young.
And so some surprises. So grab your popcorn, everyone. Thanks again, Amber, and we'll see you
Thank
next week.
you. Sounds good. Bye.